So YouTube is going to be placing links to Wikipedia in order to fight conspiracy theories. Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam, and the first bit of news to start out with today, as the stranglehold over free thinking and truth-seeking grows tighter and tighter, we now have the CEO of YouTube announcing a new feature that I'm sure all of you are going to love, whereby which conspiracy-related videos will now have links placed on, around, or near said video for viewers to see that will be leading them to, quote, fact-based content that will, quote, debunk the hoax alongside the video. See, now they're calling it a hoax. Well, let me just go ahead and read what the CEO said to Wired.com editor-in-chief, stating, quote, "The new feature will be called Information Cues. And if you search and click on a conspiracy video, say about chemtrails, YouTube will now link to a Wikipedia page that debunks the hoax alongside the video. As another example, a video calling into question whether humans ever landed on the moon might be accompanied by the official Wikipedia page about the Apollo moon landings in 1969. YouTube CEO says that the feature will only include conspiracy theories right now that have significant debate on the platform, saying further, quote, "Our goal is to start with a list of internet conspiracies listed on the internet where there is a lot of active discussion on YouTube, whereby which people will still watch videos and be able to watch them, but that they will have access to additional information." Apparently partnering up with Wikipedia, which apparently there's this wide misconception that somehow Wikipedia is the end-all be-all of factual data regarding everything you could ever want to know. This, as well as other sites like Snopes.com, who claim to be the internet's #1 fact checkers, although as of recently, they've had to retract and pull down stories one after the other because someone apparently didn't fact check their fact checkers, and they ended up posting a lot of nonsense that simply wasn't true, calling things hoaxes when they weren't, and taking obvious sides in the political world. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Wikipedia today. So a lot of people believe Wikipedia is like a reliable source of facts. Let me tell you guys this today, it is not. Even the website itself states that it is not a reliable source for academic writing or research, mainly due to the fact that the entire website and all the data within it can be edited at any time by you or me or the 9-year-old kid down the street. Now, that's not to say that Wikipedia and some of the people that use it do their best to cite sources and links, but still, the fact remains that most, if not all, of the information on the website has been created, edited, or added by users of the internet. And it changes depending on who's writing it, depending on who edits it. And so the fact that YouTube would rely on such a website, especially in terms of conspiracy theories, or as I like to call them here on the channel, critical thinking, you know, taking a look at something from all sides and siphoning through information as it comes in. Because as with many of these so-called conspiracy theories, whether we're talking about chemtrails or the moon landings or aliens, UFOs, with all of them, there is at least, and from all the research I've seen, a degree of truth. And especially when we're talking about aliens, UFOs, likely chemtrails too, because they have admitted to doing that, a whole lot of truth exists. And while I firmly believe that we went to the moon, there is sufficient evidence to show that certain parts, certain pieces of footage, certain photographs were indeed faked. And so how is YouTube going to consolidate that? By simply pointing you to a Wikipedia page, essentially taking away our ability to be free thinkers, whereby which YouTube is going to tell you how to think by sending you to such websites, where said critical thinking, as I like to call it, can be swiftly debunked by a 3 or 4 page paragraph on Wikipedia. And so who knows how far it will go, if they will touch on UFOs and aliens, or the mystery booms and lights we've been talking about lately, and whether they'll just have one of their little links for every topic we talk about. But I just want to give you guys a heads up if you start seeing it. This has just come out and is yet another step further that YouTube and major internet companies all over the net are doing whatever they can to take away your free thought and replacing it with what they think that you should be thinking and what they think that you should read or watch. But I know that most of you guys are hip to that, and those of you who are new to the channel or this research, you'll find out real quick that anybody, especially the mainstream media, who tells you that this is definitively the answer to this theory, or that this is a hoax or that is a hoax, well, it's nonsense. You don't trust people who do that. So just a heads up, you guys be on your guard. Now, in other news, do you guys remember when the astronaut Scott Kelly went up into space, staying in the International Space Station, and actually lived out there for a year in space, which is one of the longest times anybody has been up in space, save for a few others who have been over, a little bit over a year, but Mr. Kelly stayed a year, and after 2 years of being back on Earth, scientists have just discovered that this astronaut Scott Kelly, who by the way has an identical twin down here on Earth, well, this astronaut no longer has the same DNA as his twin brother. And so from the report, quote, astronaut's DNA no longer matches that of his identical twin, NASA finds. Well, basically, they've discovered that space not only changes your outlook, but it transforms your genes. With preliminary results from NASA's twin study revealed that 7% of astronaut Scott Kelly's genes did not return to normal after his return to Earth 2 years ago. The study looked at what happened to Kelly before, during, and after he spent 1 year aboard the ISS through an extensive comparison with his identical twin Mark, who remained on Earth. And, well, NASA just learned that the formerly identical twins are no longer genetically the same. And that's actually, it's kind of creepy and scary when you think about it. I mean, I totally believe that if you're in space long enough, with the weightlessness and especially the deprivation of oxygen, your body is going to go through chemical changes, and the results of this study definitely present new ramifications for long-term spaceflight. Say if we were to send astronauts to Mars, or one of the moons of Saturn, Titan, or Europa, and the many years that it would take to get there and get back home. And at just what percentage would your genes change? And would this higher percentage of a change start to change you as an individual, start to change your mind, the way your brain works? Would it start to change the way you look? You know, it reminds me of a very creepy, some would say scary, but it was more of a thriller film back in 1999 called The Astronaut's Wife. And those of you who have been around for a while, well, you'll know about this movie. It starred Johnny Depp and Charlize Theron, where this woman's husband, played by Johnny Depp, is an astronaut. He goes up into space, and something strange happens. They don't know what, but he's up there in space, and when he comes back home, he's acting very strange. He's almost normal, but there's just something slightly different in the way he looks at her, in the way he speaks. Something that just feels alien, if you guys catch my drift. And so yeah, it reminds me of that. So very telling, you know, this new study about space. You know, your DNA can be changed. And I'm wondering to see whether that is going to have an impact on our long-term spaceflight, and what they're going to do to prevent it, and what would happen if a man or a woman were to stay in space for, say, 5 to 10 years. So hopefully that wouldn't turn you into a mutant or something, but I think it would freak me out to go into space knowing that my very DNA was being changed and warped as I sat there floating. I think that would kind of take away from the enjoyment of it all. But you guys tell me what you think down below. Now, lastly today, and just real quick, I want to give a special thanks to a fellow Secureteam viewer and fan out of Romania. Her name is Alexandra, and she tweeted this photograph to me today of her sporting a Secureteam hoodie, which you guys can find on our online merch shop. Links down below and at the end of this video. And so I thought this was pretty awesome. Not only did she get the hoodie, but she made it her profile pic on Twitter. So I had to give her a shout out. This picture snapped all the way from Romania. We are being watched from Romania, people. I think that is an achievement in and of itself. So really awesome to know that we have viewers from all over the world, and it's awesome to know that everyday people are tuning in and looking to expand their minds about a number of different topics. So big thanks, Alex. Appreciate you a lot, as well as all of you guys out there. So thank you again for stopping by. Be sure to stay tuned. I've got much more in the works. Hit me up on Twitter as to when new videos are coming out, and I will see you all back in just a bit. Stay safe, guys.